In this video, we will have a look at some of the considerations for the service delivery process, referring to takealot.com, a South African-based e-commerce website. We start with the nature of service interactions, referring to the contact during the service encounter, which forms the core of the service delivery process, and this will ultimately determine whether it was successful or not. If we have a look at understanding customer contact, this is the level of interaction that is required between the service provider and the customers in order to receive or deliver the service. And we will refer to 3 different levels specifically. The first one, in general, high contact services, we refer to healthcare, for example, getting an operation or a consultation in the doctor's office, hairdressing, getting a haircut or a perm, and also counseling. It depends on the situation. Healthcare and counseling can be medium. For example, you send in your consult, the doctor or psychologist prepares a file or a brief and a recording and sends that to the customer. That's also depending on the situation. If we have a look at takealot.com, it's not conventional or traditional to have a high contact situation. We will more or less refer only to medium or low contact services for takealot.com. If there is an instance of a high contact experience, would be if a customer has a complaint and phones the call center. That will take place same time and both need to be present for that to be dealt with. But medium contact is more applicable. And in general, we refer to this as a customer being only present for a certain time of the service, not the entire duration of the service. So customer taking their car for a service. In takealot.com's example, a customer can browse the app or web, decide on which product to purchase, do the payment remotely in their own comfort, and then the only contact necessary from Takealot is either the delivery person that will deliver the parcel to their personal address or business premises, or if a customer opts to visit a pickup point and then the employee will ask for the order number, and then they hand over the parcel. For low contact services, this main example is internet banking. A person can open their web or apps for their specific bank and then look at their statements, who knows what time of day, without the assistance of an employee from that specific bank. If we have a look at takealot.com, customer pays for and orders the same product, but then they go to a pickup point that requires the unlock of a key or a code. So there's no intervention or service needed from a delivery person or a pickup point employee. So that's low contact. There's basically no contact with the employees at takealot.com. We also need to consider the delivery contact types. We will also refer to Takealot. So when a customer visits the service provider, this is the same as the customer that collects their parcel from either the warehouse or a pickup point across the nation and provinces, depending on where they are. If we have a look at the service provider visits the customers, this is where the delivery person will deliver to the customer's private or business address. And if we have delivering service at an arm's length, this is where the customer can, at the comfort of their own homes, order a product, pay for it via the app, see when it will be delivered, and then collect that from a pickup point requiring a key to unlock. So there's no necessity basically where the service provider has to visit the customer or the customer visiting the service premises basically. So this is all integrated with technology. We also need to consider the timing of the service delivery, and there are 2 to 3 main things to keep in mind over there. So the decision that service providers make regarding the timing aspect of their service delivery will have a direct impact on the value of the service of customers. For example, are they available after hours? In terms of Takealot, a customer can order 24/7, but they can't necessarily access the complaints department during that same hours. That is limited. So the call centers are basically limited in that aspect. We also need to consider the duration of the service, and this could be of great value to the customers, and this directly influences the pricing. In this case, since Takealot is an e-commerce site, it is not as applicable as you would for a psych consult or visiting a doctor's office for an appointment. The longer you stay for a psychological appointment, the more expensive it will become, obviously. We also need to consider how payment for the services will be integrated into the service delivery process. Is that before, after, and also the payment methods available to easily integrate that with the available market, considering what they are able to use as a payment. So we also need to consider the length of service delivery. In the case of takealot.com, the web or the app shows exactly how long the customer will wait for their delivery. So it will take the certain amount of time depending on the availability of stock. If they have stock in the Cape Town or Joburg warehouses, usually it's between 2 to 3 days depending on the load. If the product is not in stock, it might be between 5 to 12 days, but that is clearly indicated before the customer pays, and they warn them to tell them that it will take a bit longer. Then they also started to integrate next day delivery, which also is subject to availability on the products. So they charge you a bit extra, starting from 30 Rand, and then you can have your parcel delivered the next day. So that's also an implication for the duration. If you want to shorten the turnaround for your delivery, you will pay a bit more for that to happen. If we have a look at the permanence, so this relates to the time of services available. Conventional stores are 9 to 5, or depending on where the store is located, the operating hours might differ there. In the case of Takealot, as I mentioned, the customer can shop 24/7 in the convenience of their own homes, but the delivery only takes place between Mondays and Saturdays. But Takealot has a great advantage to competitors when they also deliver on weekends, the Saturday, because a lot of people are busy at work and can't necessarily receive a parcel during the week. We also need to consider the payment considerations, and there are a few things here. So first thing is, do you pay before? Yes, in takealot.com's mostly people just purchase for it using a credit card, and then they get the parcel. So it's paid before delivery of service. There's also an option for payment after. So this is when it's payment after service. So you can order the product and you pay when you collect that from the pickup point or from the delivery person. Then there's also a mix between that, because they also integrate MobiCred, where you can purchase some of their products on credit. So that will be a continuous payment for the specified duration of time. So that allows customers to purchase things they can't necessarily afford short term, but long term they are able to afford that. They also include various payment methods, for example, debit cards, credit cards, benefits such as eBucks, so loyalty programs, and also the credit option of MobiCred. So those are some of the considerations that Takealot is already implementing extremely well, but there is also room for improvement, and they do continue to improve on a daily basis, and they are the leading e-commerce site in South Africa. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can apply this to your own business.